Alrighty, looks like the stream is stable. Refilled my water. Quick one last run around the house to make sure everything's alright. I think I'll try streaming for about 2 hours a day. And again today I'm working on Firefox color some more. Working on trying to wrap up the tail end of the work on adding custom backgrounds to the thing. I just did a bunch of refactoring between Thursday and Friday last week to try to address some performance problems. One of the things I realized I was doing is every time I imported an image, it was in the main theme data. And so we'd have hundreds of K, sometimes a megabyte worth of data flying around and being copied, and that seemed to drag everything down. So, kind of updated my to-dos up in the upper right corner. One of the main things I'm going to do today, I'm going to continue the work I started last week, which is I started moving the images into their own kind of branch of the Redux store. And of course that broke the add-on, so the images are no longer going into the browser, so that's one of the things I'm going to fix today. And one of the other things I don't have implemented yet is when a background image is no longer used, it doesn't get deleted. So I'll need to do that to clean up local storage and things like that. And then there's just a couple more, there's a little UI tweak that I want to do to where when I hit the button to add a background, I want it to pop up the file selection dialog at the same time. And I keep bumping it to the end of the list, but there is a small bug I've got with my my package.json and npm install, where every time I install a new package, one of the packages I have imported from GitHub just disappears. So I probably won't get to all of that today, but I think that's a pretty good slate of things to start with. I guess the first order of business is trying to get my head back onto what I was doing last week. And to kind of see, did I break anything in the meantime? Sometimes when I start up the stream, I do a little quick explanation of what Firefox color is, but I think I've done that enough now to where you can just kind of watch what I'm doing, you can see what this thing is. But I can at least see what my work was last week. The main thing here is you can use this to set the theme. You can use this to play around with creating a theme in Firefox. And the colors all work. And you can pick background images that come with it. But one of the things that I want to add is to allow you to add your own background images from your local disk. And I've started adding this kind of really awfully styled UI down here, but it's at least somewhat functional. But last week I actually, as part of reshaping how this works, I broke the communication channel between the web page and the browser. So that's the thing I'm going to try to work on fixing right now. So when you pick background images, they should show up here. And this song's got a pretty good bass line. Alright. Okay, I remember. One of the things I ended up doing on Friday. So I created these new actions, and I created a new reducer that moved the actual base64 data of the images into their own branch of the Redux store. That means, so what I was finding is I just had the images included in the theme branch of the Redux store. And what that meant was it seemed like every time I tried to do anything like change the alignment or tiling on an image, or even drag and drop the image, there were massive performance hits as it seemed like it was copying all the image data around. So I moved them onto their own section so that the theme refers to them by name, so that then the image data isn't being played around with. It's just a reference to it by name. And so the thing I started to add on Friday, along with that, I wanted to add some middleware, some Redux middleware that will automatically update the add-on with images when they get imported. Because that's the thing, is that the way Firefox Color works is that there's the site where you edit the themes, and then there's the browser. And the way the site changes the theme in the browser is that you can install an add-on that listens to messages from the site. So both the site and the add-on needs to have a copy of whatever images you import. And I'm at the stage now where the browser, the site, has the image, but the add-on in your browser doesn't. So I started building up this middleware for Redux that watches for the add, update, and delete messages from that section of the Redux store. And the add-on isn't listening for the messages yet, but what I'm going to do today is fix that so that the add-on will watch for these messages from the Redux middleware and keep its own local store of images up to date. Alright, so I think I might jump into that. So now the interesting thing about this add-on, it's got a little content script. And what the content script does is when you install this add-on, it injects this little script into just the page for the theme editor. And all it does is set up a few functions that listen for messages from the add-on and then relay those onto the page, and it listens to messages from the page and relays those to the add-on. That's just kind of a little messaging bridge. Because otherwise, web pages don't get to talk to add-ons. And this is locked down to the specific host name from which the add-on was installed. So like this add-on that I'm building right now will only listen to messages from this specific URL. So it doesn't listen for other pages, and in fact, we have versions of the add-on built specifically for each server that the site is running on. So there's one for like the public production release, and there's one for our development server. So in the add-on, I've got this little switch statement here. It listens for messages from the web page via that messaging bridge. And then over here, I've got a post message method that sends those messages. So right now I've got some middleware installed in Redux. And part of what it was trying to do is it's relaying the action that manipulates the images, and it's relaying that up to the add-on. And the add-on isn't listening yet, so that's what I'm going to start to add now. So I added 3 messages. Add image. And update image. And delete image. Now the thing the add-on doesn't have yet is a place to put these images. But I'm going to get to that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to kind of verify that the add-on is starting to receive these messages. So I'm just going to start with some logging statements, just to make sure that the Redux store stuff is working. Now, if I were really ambitious, if I were really smart, I would have unit tests, integration tests written for this stuff, but this is kind of an experiment. I've been making things up as I go along, so I haven't started writing like a test first thing with this. Now the data that's coming in, that's going to be yeah, that's going to be part of the payload here. I forget how post message sends that. It's funny how I wrote all this code and then I forget how it works. Oh, now my editor's frozen up and I don't know why. One of the interesting things about this whole development setup I have right now is that the project is building on a virtual machine up in EC2. And actually I'm wondering if Amazon just turned off my box. Because one of the other things, yep, oh, you jerk. So one of the things I'm also trying to do, I don't want this virtual machine to run while I'm not using it, and I forget to shut it down. So I set up a CloudWatch alarm that if it's underutilized, like the CPU is under a certain amount, to just shut itself down. And I think I set the CPU limit too low. I'm gonna fix that real quick. I gotta restart the machine. It's funny because I'm just not utilizing that much of the machine. So the CPU usage is like under 1%, and so constantly my little idle shutdown thing keeps happening while I'm in the middle of working. Well, let's see if we can't get that back up and running pretty quick. But yeah, so I'm running a Linux box and a virtual machine on Amazon EC2. I've got the file system mounted on my Windows laptop via NFS. And so I'm editing the files over NFS and I'm loading the add-on in a local browser. And all of that is to kind of free up some CPU cycles on my laptop because it's just, my laptop is just struggling to do streaming and to run this project. It's kind of sad. Alright, looks like my dev box is back up. Let's see about getting everything else going again. Oh, that's right, it rebooted, so my tmux session isn't existing. Alright. But I've got it pretty down pat to start the project up. Even including typos. There it goes. It's oh, what is going on with this? I thought I uninstalled this stupid thing. I was also trying to play around with this thing called Guacamole, which is like a... It's supposed to be a cool remote desktop client that's available in a browser. Is this not going to work? I swear, every time I try to start up this stream, I run into a bunch of little stupid problems before I can actually start working. I think that thing was running. Alright, how did I start this thing up before? Maybe I had to do something weird. I feel like I've got a goldfish memory for how I get this project started up. Are you going to work with that? Alright. Cool, so it looks like we're running now. Let me see if the site is accessible. Yeah, it's always kind of a bummer because I try to get all this stuff set up before I start the stream. And then inevitably something happens that makes me have to do all this all over again as soon as I start the stream. Alright, well it looks like my NFS connection is working. Looks like the site is loading. That's cool. So okay, maybe I can be productive now. My editor is no longer frozen. That's cool. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to look at... What was I going to look at? See, that's the other thing, is when this stuff happens, I totally lose my train of thought. What other music we got? I'll eat your liver. Huh, I wonder what that song is. Kind of sounds like a skinny puppy thing starting up. It's alright. Oh, I know what I was going to try to do. I wanted to rebuild the add-on. Which should make things happen over here. It's still saving? Yeah, it's still saving. Someday I'll have a more powerful laptop and I won't be doing all this remote development. There it goes, written, which means the build should be going, and the build is going. Cannot read property, name of undefined. What are you on about? I don't actually know what that's about. Huh. Oh well. Oh, that was for my my linting. Huh. That seems a weird error. Well, I'll probably have to figure out what that is. But first, let me see if it actually did rebuild the add-on. Let's reload the add-on. The other thing I need to do, open up a browser console. And this is where those log messages are going to go. Did this just break? Might have actually just broken my add-on. That's not where I want to go. Let's go here. So I'm just navigating through to load the add-on that should have just been built. Firefox has this about debugging thing that lets you load up unpackaged add-ons that you're in the middle of developing with. Looks like it loaded it, so that's cool. What does the browser console have to say, though? No, so far so good. Slowly loading the site. What do I have running on my computer right now? It's always a struggle to make sure I've got things shut down before I start this stream. Okay, well at least the site loaded. Yada yada yada, all set. Pick a color. The theme is updating. And it should update up here. Yeah, there we go. Let's try adding a custom background image. So when I add a custom background image, I should see some log output. And it looks like, yeah, there's the message I was looking for. Weird errors, but whatever. So yeah, so I at least got this message. I forget where this console log is coming from. I don't think I need it anymore. I bet you that was a debugging thing. Oh yeah, there it is. It's debugging in my middleware. Okay. I bet I'm not going to save that right now, because the other thing I'm going to do, because I got an update. Did I get an update message? Let me see. Add another image. We're going to upload this one. Let's update this image. So I'm just kind of exercising the function here to see that my messages are showing up in the browser console, and they are. So there's the add image, there's the update image, so those messages are showing up there like I expected. But the next thing I'm going to do is give the add-on a place to put these images. So the trick I need to get into here, I'm going to have the add-on store the images in memory, but then also stash them in a local storage so that then when the browser restarts, the images associated with your current theme come back. I've got some other things to think about too, like if I want the add-on to send those themes back down to the website, because the website should have its own copy of it, unless you clear local storage. There's a few edge cases I might need to think through, but I'm going to try to get the simplest thing working first. Let's just do a really stupid simple thing. Let's just add a new global variable to the script. Let's call it, let's call it custom backgrounds. And that's just an object sitting there in the module. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I forgot what the message looked like. And I was going to look at... So the source of the post message function, I believe is here. No, it's not this file. It's an index. So post message is a little helper function I made that calls window post message for the add-on. And it has a particular data format it uses. Yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah, so I just take whatever object you pass in, and I tack on a type in this little channel thing. So whatever I put in there is what's going to be in the message. So, just for the sake of argument, I'm gonna, to refresh myself on the contents of this message, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna log it real quick, and then I'll look at those log messages again. I swear I've got the memory of a goldfish, so even though I wrote this code, I forget what it does in the middle of having written it. So that should have kicked off a bunch of build activity. And look at it go. I really don't know what... Is this all that error is? Is a deprecation error? That's annoying. Well, it says cannot read property name of undefined, and I think that's coming from ESLint. Yeah, ESLint is throwing that error. Why is ESLint throwing this error? It's kind of an annoyance right now because it isn't actually preventing my build. But I think I will have to figure out what the heck that is at some point. Oh well, I'll ignore it for now. And come back to it. Actually, you know what I'll do? Let's add it to my to-dos, eh? Investigate. New ESLint name is undefined error, and there's lots of typos, aren't there? I don't know why my typing in this particular file is lagging. Alright, we'll just add that to the to-do in the top of the screen. But back to it. So I just added some logging statements because I want to make sure that my add-on is doing what I expect. I'm going to reload that add-on. Site's going to reload. Site is very slow to load sometimes. Alright, let's add a custom background image and then we'll take a peek at the add-on log messages again. Blah blah blah, let's add an image. Let's upload an image, it's importing. Look at it go. There we go, okay. Let's take a look at the browser console. Browser console should show me. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here's the add image message that I'm looking for. So that made it into the add-on. Update image. They've got a couple separate messages here. Add image is what happens when I hit the add button. And it does not yet have... Oh, I know what it is. So when I initially pick the image to import, it creates a new image record, but with a status of importing. And it doesn't have the data yet. It knows the name, it knows the size, but it doesn't know the... It doesn't know the data yet. And then after it finishes importing it with the file reader API, then it sends a second message to update that image with the data. Actually, I just noticed one thing. Type in the image is a content type, but type is overloaded here to also be the type of message. So I'm glad I did a console log on that, because what I'm going to do real quick is this. Let's not post message that directly. Let's say, let's wrap that in an object in all these cases. So the data in here doesn't get clobbered. That's better. So that's going to result in some build activity. Look at it go. There's that ESLint there, but that's okay for now. Hey, Jesse Skinner, how's it going? Let's reload that add-on. It's going to reload the site. Okay. Yeah, been pretty good. Mostly spent a weekend playing No Man's Sky because I didn't feel like doing anything at all. Meant to work on a side project and maybe stream over the weekend, but I did not. What am I doing? Oh yeah, let's look at browser console. Okay, so I'm gonna add a custom image. I'm gonna actually upload the image. See, this is the other task I want to do today, is when I hit this button, I don't want it to be a two-step process. I want to hit add and have the file picker show up immediately. Okay, so I uploaded an image. Browser console should now... Yeah, so it's got both of these events now. And I added a sub-object. There we go. So now no longer is type clobbered by the type of the message. Okay, so the add-on is getting these messages. It's seeing when I add a new image, and it's got the metadata for the image, and then it's seeing an update message when the data for the image has finished importing. So, I mean, this is a little redundant image, but we're going to live with that. Yeah, I end up spending a lot of weekends actually working on side projects, but sometimes it's just like, I'm tired of working, so I'm just going to veg out with a stupid video game. This past week was interesting because our fridge actually died, so we had a lot of evenings of picking out a new fridge and getting it installed and all that fun stuff, so I just kind of felt like doing something brainless for a while. Alright, let's reload that. Actually, we don't even need to reload that. What I need to do... Okay, so now I know the messages are getting through the add-on. I've got all the data out of them. What I can do now... And also, I'm thinking about, you know what I probably should do is break this switch statement. Since it's getting kind of big, I should break this switch statement up into a separate set of functions. Maybe make it into a dispatch table. Because I'm running into things where, like, I want to destructure the message, and that's harder to do when I don't have a bunch of functions. How about we do this? So I'm going to start building basically what is a dispatch table before I get too much farther into this. Hopefully this doesn't break things, but it probably will, so that'll be fun. So what I'm going to do is say I'm going to turn this into an object of functions. And oh yeah, maybe let's have a default branch. Just a little bit of refactoring here before I get into the actual meat of responding to these messages. You know, I could actually get fancier than this. This might not be super readable, but try this. So what I'm doing here is I'm converting from a switch statement to a dispatch table of functions because I can better isolate the local variables for each of these handlers. And since I've been trying to practice Vim macros, let's see if I can't record a macro to convert most of these. Let's see. Let's record a macro. Let's do this. Now the nice thing about macros in Vim is if you're careful with your commands, you can make something that's applicable to many patterns in your file. So let's see if I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 iterations of this macro. And look at that. With a Vim macro, I was able to just convert all those case statements to functions. That's pretty cool. I didn't do this last one because I didn't have the break statement, and the break statement is one of the things I was kind of keying off of. That's okay, I'll do that one by hand real quick. So yeah, that's one of the things I've been trying to do too, is level up my Vim foo a little bit with things like this. I'm gonna way past this too. This song's kind of crazy. Who uses tab ID? Just that one? Alright. Grab that. Cool. Okay. Let's reformat that real quick. And this kind of feels like a more scalable way to do this to me. I could even break these out into just plain functions instead of properties of this object, but I kind of have liked this pattern out of the projects. I guess the fun thing will be to see what I've missed and what'll break now that I've done this little refactoring. Just eyeballing it, it looks pretty good. Okay, let's see what lint tells me, because lint will often tell me what I've broken. Although lint is throwing me an error right now, so we'll see what happens with that. Amazon didn't shut down my box again, did it? No? Okay, good. But for some reason lint isn't running. Am I still saving? Yeah, I'm still saving. There it goes. It finally saved. So there it goes. Yeah, for some reason lint is just not happy with me right now. And I don't know what I changed since last week. Alright, well, my kind of like fallback is to run prettier to format the code. And if prettier will complain if there's syntax errors also. So it looks like I didn't break any syntax, obviously. Or apparently, whatever. Okay. So part of the reason I wanted to do this is because I want to do some things like this. Rather than just bringing in the message, I'm going to bring in the image. And actually, what I can do even more than that is I could say, but I don't know if I want to do that actually. I'm just going to destructure the image for now. But this kind of tightens up some syntax and keeps you from having to like, it lets you dry a few things up rather than referring to message all over the place all the time. So, okay. Way back at the top of this add-on, I defined, custom background. So this is just something in memory. And I'm going to stick the images there. Oops. So I'm going to say custom background image name equals image. And you know what? I'm going to do the same thing down here. Let's see. This is kind of a clone of what my Redux middleware does, because I send partial updates sometimes. So I can say, so if there are some missing keys, I'll copy those in. Okay. So that's just for the heck of it. Let's do this. Now the thing that I'm working towards is to just get the images showing up in the browser theme. And then I'll start to worry about deleting images, and I'll start to worry about persisting the images so that they survive between browser restarts and so they're not just in memory. Okay, save that. That saved pretty fast. Okay, so rebuild should be in progress. Rebuild is in progress. Alright, so I'm going to hop on over to my browser again. Wrong browser, so many browsers open. Let's reload that add-on. This part I don't have automated. I should find a way to automate this. This part is manual to make it reload the add-on. The add-on is the, like, least worked on part of this whole project, though. Is it still... Did I get in there? Port is not defined. Okay. So I obviously did break something. I see what I broke. Okay, yeah. I'm not passing the port. You know, I'm going to simplify this a little bit. Or maybe... Yeah, let's do this. So since destructuring is a thing now, I've really started to like... Instead of positional parameters, just setting an object. Which I think is kind of wasteful. You know what, actually, let's not do that. Since these handlers are so visually close to the dispatcher, I'll just do that. But I have found passing objects around instead of parameter lists ends up being more flexible because you can play around with what gets passed and not have to change everything everywhere like I'm doing right now. Because not every one of these messages... Oops. Not every one of these messages needs a port. You know, actually, F it, I am going to do this. So, we can do this. I mean, I could see in certain circumstances this is wasteful, because this is creating a JavaScript object from the literal. And there's some places, like inside a heavy loop, you wouldn't want to do that because of garbage collection. Like if I were making a game engine, I wouldn't necessarily do this. And also, I can't type today. I don't know what my deal is. Ah, come on. Yeah, a lot of these need port. Yeah, screw this. It's very similar syntax. It's very similar syntax. Just the addition of a curly brace or two. It's bad, but I kind of end up fiddling in this way quite a lot while I'm trying to think about what the next thing I'm going to do is. Pico221, hi. May I ask what font you're using? What font am I using? I am using Inconsolata, which is a font I've been using for years and years. I believe you can get it on just about any operating system right now. Did I? Yes, I took that out. Yeah, like I think there are like Ubuntu packages for it, and you can get it in TTF format or whatever for Windows. Port. All right, I think everybody has a port that needs it. Should be rebuilding, and I am. I'm gonna reload that add-on. I'm gonna see. Okay, looks like the problem with the port is fixed. So, okay. Oh, I know what this message is. This message is the other end of things, where it actually applies the theme. And it's got a background image by name, and I am now importing the background images, so I'm about to connect the two together. Let's go back to the site. Let's try setting a theme. Hopefully things aren't broken anymore. Okay, cool. So it set the theme. Let's try adding an image. Let's try adding an image. Come on, computer, you can work with me. Here it goes. Let's look at the browser console. Okay, cool. So update image. And then I logged two things here. I logged the incoming message, and I also logged the contents of my background image store. Oh yeah, so the first time through with add image, there's no image data. Second time through, it has image data. Okay, so I have an in-memory store. Song's getting kind of boring. Let's shuffle some of my favorites. Okay. And actually, just for the sake of completeness, I'm going to get around to there we go. And so down further here in the add-on, at apply theme, this is where it's going to try to apply the theme to the browser. I used to send it the image data encoded as a URL. Now I just send it a name. But I have the URL, which should be in this in-memory store I just created. Let's try that. Actually, to be a little drier, let's try this. So, what I think I've just done, if it works, is I should be able to start seeing custom background images work again. Build is wrapping up. Let's reload that add-on. Take a look at the browser console as it goes. There it goes. Now, of course, when I reload this add-on, since I'm not persisting the background, it's gonna, oops, sorry, just whacked the mic. It's gonna lose all of its backgrounds. Let's try this again. Actually, you know what? Let's pick a brand new theme. Let's pick a theme. Hopefully it shows up in the browser. Yes, it does. Let's pick an image. That was loud. Okay. Sorry, it's all amateur hour on the stream today. There's an image, and it didn't seem to do anything. Did something break? Oh, I know what's happening. I know what's happening. I updated the image, but I did not tell the add-on to update its theme. So, do I have a current theme? Yeah, all right. I don't have a method here to just update the current theme. Basically, all I do is this. Okay. This feels dirty, but I'm going to do it anyways, and I'll clean it up later. I'm just going to have it fetch and update the theme, which I think should work because the theme data is separate from the background data now. And it's just going to contain names. This should probably need some improvement though. Reload that add-on.
Because the fun wasn't outsmarting Ma. She was quick. She could tell if there was salt missing from a pretzel. So the next morning at breakfast, she would just stare at me right at the
All right. Add-on is working.
her eyes looked like two distant attorneys.
Actually, I have no idea where the vocal samples in this song come from. I'm gonna have to figure that out at some point. It's a kind of a creepy song. Do we have an image? We don't, so I don't actually know what's going on here. So I'm gonna have to plunk some more. Oh, I do know what's going on. I just realized. So down here in apply theme, yeah, I just had it grab the custom background property, but that's an object with a subproperty of image that's actually got the image data. So I'm trying to set the background as an object, which is not going to work. Maybe this will work. And my network connection's being a little slow. That's no bueno. There it goes. So it wrote. Build process is going. Let's run over here. So many steps. It's a lot faster when I'm just working on a website itself, because then I don't have to keep reloading this add-on. Okay, custom background's name is undefined, which is correct because I wiped out the backgrounds. So let's try this again. There's our theme. We're going to add a new image. Come on, you can do it, little buddy. There we go. So I had this image, and it's importing it. And it's got the image now. Send it to, there it is. Now it's in the add-on. Okay. Cool. That doesn't seem to be working. Huh. So I can get the image in there. It's just not watching for updates right now. I don't understand what just happened. So I can grab an image. Expected string instead of undefined for theme update. Okay. Huh. Not exactly sure what's going on here. Shrink this dialogue. Try a different image. Import the image. I see the expected messages flow past. Oh, I see. I think it's maybe just very slow. Okay, let's clear this log real quick. Because what I want to do, so I got the image showing up in the theme again, but what I want it to be able to do is accept these changes. Huh, okay. So that looks like something that's actually breaking in the web app. It's losing the image somehow. Why is it losing the image? Well, let's stop messing with the add-on for now and see. What are you doing? Let's start with a fresh refresh. Because I want to see what's happening now in the Redux store. When I add this image, what's the sequence of actions? Very slow. No me gusta. Okay. Pick a theme. I'm gonna pick this theme. Should see a set theme over here. Yeah, set theme. Good. I'm gonna add a custom background image. I should see set custom background. Okay. I'm gonna pick an image. Now I should see a couple messages. I should see, yeah, add image. Now it's importing the image. Then I should see an update image. Update the image, cool. Huh. Now I didn't expect these two messages. I think I got another bug lurking. Because load images should only happen at page refresh or I guess in other tabs. So if you load an image into this tab, other copies of the application should be notified that there's a new image. But let's see what happened when I guess what didn't happen is when I updated the image, set custom background didn't happen again. Oh. Well, let's ignore this for now. And let's say, what I'm trying to test here is I want to say, move the image to the right top. So I should see a set custom background, and I do, but I lost the image now for some reason. Why? Okay, I think I see what's going on. This particular set custom background is missing the name of the image. Okay. So let's dive back into that component. Come on, you can do it. Everything's so laggy. Okay. So this particular part of the web, this part of the web application is the theme custom background widget, which is this. There are several things you can edit with that component. There's deleting the background, there's alignment change, and here it is. So these are still looking for URL rather than name. So this is what I need to do. Each one of these handlers modifies one aspect of an image, but it has to retain the rest of the aspects, the rest of the properties. So I used to have it manipulate a URL, which was the base 64 encoded data of the image. Now I just have it manipulating the name, because the name is stored in a separate structure. And it looks like I forgot to update those. So hopefully I just fixed that bug. And hopefully I'm not making giant slurpy noises on the mic as I kick back with water. Trying not to, that's kind of gross. Alright, I think this just got fixed. Let's see. So I want to do add a background image. The background image is going to be, let's say, my head. Imports the image. Let's see the correct events happen. There's the data. There it is in the browser. Now I want to say, repeat that in the theme. There it goes. Okay. Okay, cool. So I think I just fixed that bug. So yeah, what you should be able to do with this feature is add several background images. And they come in layers. So you should be able to pick several images, drag them around. Oops, that is incorrect. Where's my mouse? There it is, okay. I'll pick one more image. Pick this image. I've got not great images for demoing this, but that's alright. Importing image. Now you can't see any of these images because my tiled head is first in the list. So let's drag my head down to the last position. It should update the order. Cool. Looks like that's what it did. And now I want to move this one. This highlighting artifact is not great, but I'll get into that. Okay, so let's move this to right top. There we go. Okay, so you should be able to control the order of these images. You should be able to control their positioning and their tiling. Drag them around. So far, so good. So I've got this all working in the theme again. All right. It's still performing terribly, though. Because this stuff should be, like, close to immediate. It shouldn't be taking this much lag. But the one thing you can't see is that my machine is, like, pegged at 100% CPU. So I'm hoping the majority of the issues, performance-wise, are just because my computer is being asked to do too much. It's alright. So what I got working now, I can pick the images in the web app, I can manipulate their properties in the web app, the images get shared with the browser via the add-on, and all the property changes happen just fine. Drag and drop was the thing I did last week, and it's actually performing better. It's not great. And also I don't really like that this text selection thing is happening. That's probably just a stop propagation or prevent default missing somewhere. But it works. At some point I'm going to put a better user experience design on top of it so it's not as hideous. It's at least kind of working. Alright, so let's look at the add-on again. What I want to do now, so the problem is, I've got the images going to the add-on, but if I reload the add-on, the images are gone. Because I was storing them in a variable in memory. So that means if I reload the add-on, even though the web app still has them, the add-on no longer has them. In the add-on, even if I manipulate the order of the images and whatnot, the add-on still won't have the images because I'm handling them in a separate channel. So, what I want to be able to do is save them to local storage. And then when the add-on initializes, it'll restore its set of images from local storage. And I currently do that with the theme itself. So when this thing gets the right file. So the theme itself is in local storage. That's why I have this fetch theme, store theme. So I guess what I want to add is, and this is kind of brute force, but I'm just going to say fetch images. You know what? Let's do this. Copy pasta. If I do enough of this copy paste, I'll probably write some kind. I'll kind of refactor it into some kind of abstraction, but not for now. Yeah, all right. Okay. That looks like I just got a ping from work. Okay, so yeah, I added those two messages. And what I'm going to do... this seems like brute force, but I guess what I can do is every time I add an image... Let's say... I already forgot what I called them. Fetch and store. Okay. So, store images. You know what, the other thing I'm going to do. No, I don't need to do that. So I can say store images, images, custom backgrounds. Yeah, so let's just do this. So for each of these three, I'm just going to save the whole store from memory. I'm not going to do granular add, update, delete changes to this thing in local storage. So maybe I should say update images. I don't know. I'm just going to say store images for now. And then what I'm going to do up here in the initialization part, I'm going to say... what am I going to say? What does first run do? Okay, so when it first starts up, it does a first run thing, and there are no images yet. So let's say... yeah, let's do this. So, what I'm doing here, every time there's a change to the in-memory collection of images, it's going to get saved to local storage. And then when the add-on starts, it's going to load from that local storage and initialize its in-memory set of images. So that should mean whenever the add-on is restarted, whenever the browser is restarted, it'll pick up where it left off with the last set of images. I'm trying to think if I missed anything here, other than awkward variable naming and things like that. And my browser's super slow. Been trying to hydrate more, so whenever there's a pause in the action, hydration is good. Alright, that's your PSA. Okay, file saved. Build is almost done. I gotta figure out that error, but I'm not gonna do it right now. Let's reload the add-on. Okay, custom backgrounds is read-only. Okay, so that's an interesting error. I think because it's a module level variable, it doesn't want to... Oh, I know why it is. It's because it's a const. It's a const. So really what I should be doing... Let's do this. Man, I love this section of the song. I think I say it every stream. Alright, let's try that. Because I made it a const up here. I guess I could make it a let, and then it's not read-only. Well, let's roll with that. There goes the build. The build is done. Let's reload the browser add-on. Let's take a look at the browser console. I should have fixed that error. And yeah, it will not have that defined. So how about we do this real quick so I can guard against that. Let's do this. So while the image is being added and the image data is still importing, the image data will be missing. So we'll just skip adding that to the theme for now. So that should cover that error, at least. Yeah, alright. Yeah, so if either that background by name doesn't exist yet, or if it does exist and it doesn't have image data yet, let's skip adding it as a background for now. And since we call fetch and apply theme every time the images are updated, this will eventually get called once the image has been imported. There goes the build. The build's already done. Sweet. Let's reload the add-on. So that's defined. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. So I'm just going to clear these because the browser doesn't have these images. Let's try this over again. Add a custom background image. We're going to pick an image. It should show up in the browser momentarily. Importing it. There we go, the Redux actions. Imported it. And there it's sent to the browser. Okay. Now the moment of truth. Let's reload that add-on. Theme goes away. Theme comes back. No image. Oh, there's the image. Okay, good. Excellent. Okay. You know what, actually, I think I might have a race condition here. I just remembered what I did. So I'm fetching the images after the theme. So how about we do this? Let's fetch the images. Or let's, yeah, all right. Let's fetch the images. Yeah, let's fetch the images. Then, let's fetch the theme. Then, apply the theme. And let's do that in a sequence. There, maybe that'll work a little better. So then by the time the theme has arrived, or so then by the time we want to fetch and apply the theme, we've already loaded the images. I shouldn't have really needed to do those in parallel. Let's try that again. So I'm going to reload it. Theme goes away. Ah, cool. So it looks like it's successfully persisting the images. So far, so good. Let's see if I can add another image. Should be working okay. See, the part of the performance issues I'm seeing is if the site doesn't get a response to a ping message from the add-on within like 3 seconds, it switches to a state, assuming the add-on is no longer installed. So every now and then, this whole thing will change to a state encouraging me to download Firefox and install the add-on. You know, the add-on is installed, it's just late. I'm getting back with an answer. I might have to tweak that. Importing the image. They're not very big images. The performance on this thing is just abysmal right now. I was hoping that some of these changes I'm making would improve that situation, but it hasn't yet. But okay, so I can edit all that, and then one more try. Let's reload the add-on. And there it is, there's my theme. Alright, you know what? Speaking of hydration, I think I need to take a quick break from the stream. So I will be right back. Just gotta turn off my scene switcher for a second here. And I'll see you in about 5 minutes. All right. And I'm back. Turn the scene switcher back on. Cool. And get back to it. Alright, so I believe, as of right now, I have finished the first to-do. So let's mark that as done. So deleting background images. So that's the thing I'm not doing right now. If my theme is no longer using a background image, I should delete it, both from the website storage and the add-on. I've got messages to do that. I've got some of the back-end stuff to do that. I'm just not doing it in the front end yet. Now, one of the little kinks to it that I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle. One of the features of Firefox Color is you can save your theme. When you save your theme, it shows up here. Now that's weird. That's not the theme I have. Huh. Okay, well, whatever. When I pick a different theme, it doesn't have images anymore. But those images still exist in memory. So what I need to do is, I think, purge. I need to look at what saved themes there are, and I need to look at what the current theme is, get an inventory of currently used images, and then purge the ones that are no longer used. And I think that'll be more useful than trying to like granularly track when an image is added or removed. So, okay. Now the interesting thing about that is I wonder, so right now I've got a delete image action in Redux that deletes one image, but it's possible I'll need to delete several images in one go. So maybe I should change the delete image action to delete images so that when I do this inventory and say, I don't know, I come up with 4 images that are now obsolete, I send one action, and then that one action gets relayed to the add-on, rather than, say, 5 delete messages. So just kind of formulating my game plan here. Okay, so let's start with that. Let's convert the singular delete action to a multiple delete to a bulk delete action. And the one place I do have tests is my Redux store. So I'm going to start by tweaking the test for that. Alright, this is my Redux store. I've got a delete image action. Yes, I've got a load images in bulk action. I don't have... Yeah, okay, it should support deleting imported images. So how about we do this? Just off the top of my head. So I'm just going to rework this test a little bit so that it adds multiple images to the store, rather than just one. I don't care really what is in the data for these images. I'm just going to count that there. So let's see, I'm going to say, let's go with the test data, but with a couple tweaks. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter what the data is. I'm not going to test for the data. I just want them to be unique. Uniquely named, which I think is what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay. Now at this point, I expect there to be as many images as there are names. Johnson McBig, what is this? Which part, the music or the project? We don't need this. All right. Now what I want to be able to say... Oh, the editor. This is NeoVim. Been trying to use Atom, trying to use Visual Studio Code, but I just keep going on back to Vim. Alright, so let's change this to delete images. And let's accept an array of names. Then this is, okay, so this test is going to fail. Because I'm trying to do this test-driven thing. This test is going to fail, and then I'm going to fix my code so that the test passes. And it's saving my test, because my network is slow. But yeah, I've been using Vim for, criminy, close to 20 years now. In fact, I've been using this syntax color theme for close to 25 years because I used to use Emacs, and I copied this color theme over from Emacs into Vim. Because I'm a crazy person. Alright, so the build worked. My tests had to have failed. My test did fail because action delete images is not a function. Let's make delete images a function, and we do that by changing the Redux action. Why dump Emacs? I didn't dump it for a good reason so much as I had been already using Emacs for like 10 years, including when I was in college. And I was also using Perl at the time. And for some reason I thought to broaden my horizons I would learn Python and Vim, which at the time, Perl and Python and Emacs and Vim were kind of mortal enemies. So I decided to hurt my brain. And, well, I haven't used Perl, and I haven't used Emacs much since then. So no real good reasons. I mean, Emacs is a great editor. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. Perl's a great language. It's kind of fallen out of favor. Oh, not deletes image. Delete images. So I'd say if you like Emacs, keep using it. I do like the editor commands in Vim. Once you kind of get to learn them, you can do a lot of weird wizardry by typing what is basically line noise at the computer. Alright, so I changed my action. That's going to fix one bit of the test. Test is still going to fail though, because now I changed the Redux action. I have to change the Redux reducer that processes the action. So down here in my reducers, and someday I'm probably going to break this file up into multiple files now that it's gotten larger than one screenful. Yeah, so here is the bit that processes the delete images action. And the payload is not a singular name, the payload is now a multiple names. Let's do this. By default, it should be an empty list just to guard myself. So now it's going to delete multiple images. Let's see if I fix the test. There it goes. Tests are all green. Okay. So I just updated the Redux store to delete multiple images in one go. So now the thing is to make the user interface use that. And I'm trying to think how exactly I do that. Okay, let's open up that component though. Now when I get into my components, I don't have tests for those because I'm lazy. In a bad way. Because there's lazy good where you save yourself work, and there's lazy bad where you make yourself work. And missing tests for my Redux components is the bad kind of make work. Unfortunately. And my editor is being slow. Come on, little buddy, you can do it. Okay, because I just want to close that. Alright. Blah, blah, blah. Well, what I want to do... maybe I should do this in middleware. Because what I want to do is whenever there's a theme change, to audit and inventory images used in themes. I'm just trying to think of the right place in my code to put it, because I think actually doing it in this component is the wrong place. Because if I did it here, so this is the handler where, so if I add an image, I add an image, I pick an image. The first spot that comes to mind to delete the image would be when I click this button. And that is handled by this function here. The problem I'm anticipating though is, let's say I save this theme. So now I've got a saved theme that depends on this image. If I delete that image, when I delete it from the current theme, now my saved theme no longer has access to that image. And that sucks. So, what I think I want to do is... what do I want to do? Because I don't want to do the check for saved images too often. Maybe what I'll do... So I thought maybe when I import an image is the right time to do the purge of unused images. Because I don't want to do it on every change to the theme. Maybe I will do it in the clear background thing. Maybe I'll so you know. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. First, I think I'm just going to make a generic purge background function. And handle clear background will be one of the places I call it. So I think I might want to define that up here in the app component. Maybe. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow, Martin Does Stuff. Alrighty. So in this root component called app is where I set up a bunch of things like action dispatchers and whatnot. And maybe this is a good place to define an image purge function. Because I might want to call it other places besides just that clear button. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll call it... I don't know, maybe I'll call it when the page first loads too. Because again, I only want to purge images that are not being used. And just because they're not being used in the current theme doesn't mean they're not being used in saved themes. Hi there, Fireroll29, how you doing? Okay. Yeah, let's do this. So I think the place to stick this logic might be up here. It could probably go in a better place. I'm just going to do it here for now. You know what? No, because it needs access to the store. Or needs access to dispatch at least. Hey, thanks for the follow, Fireroll29. Yeah, let's define it here. I'm just going to call it, and I'm kind of winging it here. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to do this. So what do I want to do? I want to look at the current theme. I want to look at the current theme, and I want to look at the saved theme. So not only do I need access to dispatch, I also need access to the store state itself. You know, actually, this is sounding more and more like a middleware issue. So let's get out of here. So my text editor is NeoVim. I was just talking about this earlier. Text editor is NeoVim, and the theme is a theme I've dragged along with me since, close to 25 years ago when I used to use Emacs, and I don't even know what it was called back then. So it's just kind of a personal custom theme I've been dragging around. I keep trying other people's themes and I never like them. I'm very picky. It's just weird things like my brain knows green is string and red is comment. It's gotten very drilled into my head. Yeah, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Maybe I need a new action. That's just... I don't know, I'm trying to think where to put it, because so the middleware is a good place to put it, I think, because middleware has access to the state and dispatch. But I'm trying to think what actions it should trigger it. Maybe add image. Maybe add an update image. Also, I need to change this. Sometimes it's hard to figure out where I should stick a certain thing. Hey, Martin does stuff. Yeah, total creature of habit. I try new things all the time. And sometimes when I want to get work done, I've got like decades of muscle memory and pattern recognition drummed into my head. So I end up working faster, going back to old stuff. But it's good to try new editors and things because like Atom and VS Code definitely have advantages over my current setup. It's just, man, they don't run nicely on this machine right now. I gotta say, NeoVim is usually super fast. And it's not written with Electron. Which Electron's great. It's just not the lightest weight platform for building an app. Yeah. I've had issues where Atom will like lock up for 5 minutes at a time on certain files. The other advantage to knowing Vim, which is kind of an obscure advantage, but some version of Vim or Vi is usually available on any Linux machine that you connect to. So if you know how to use Vim, you can probably edit files on any machine, anywhere. Doesn't necessarily have all these nice colors and splits and file browsing and whatever, but you can at least do basic editing pretty quickly. You know what, actually, I'm just going to say whenever an image is added or updated, I'm going to run a purge. I'll probably find better places for it, but let's do it. Let's start from here. And this thing is going to want access to get state and dispatch. And I'm going to call this is going to be a problem. I'm trying to remember if I set the image in the theme before I call this. Because what I don't want to have happen is that this purges images just before they're going to be used in a theme. This is getting into weird territory with race conditions and whatnot. Maybe I'll just try it and see what happens. Because what I want to do is say my current theme, I want to get the current state. And I want to get what is the current theme. I've got a selector for this. Give me my store. So again, what I'm trying to do here is find a good place in my code to clean up unused images. And just because I delete the image from the current theme doesn't mean that image isn't still being used in a saved theme. So rather than delete the image on when it's deleted from the current theme, I'm going to, at various points, scan and come up with an inventory of currently used images and delete the ones that don't appear in that list. And I'm thinking I'm going to run this in a few places. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I just thought of another place to run it too. So even though this middleware is mainly currently only listening for images actions, I can also listen for a set custom background image action from the theme actions and run a purge then also. Okay, so I'm getting the state. What selector do I want? Oh, okay. I want the theme custom images selector. So I can say and that gives me the images used in the current theme. Yeah, custom backgrounds, not images, backgrounds. All right, this song has been going on long enough. I love this song, but the song doesn't have an end time. Adam was your Sublime alternative. Yeah, I never used Sublime all that much either. I had a similar issue. It wasn't different enough from Vim to sway me. Let's see. So let's run some more music from this game. There we go. Now what else do I need? I want to get the saved themes, and I forget how those work. Saved themes, there we go, okay. So now I'm just kind of looking up. Yeah, I feel like VS Code is kind of part of the new wave of Microsoft stuff. Because they did a bunch of hires lately, like in the last few years, of people who've been turning some things around for them. And I think VS Code came from a newer team who kind of broke with some past interface traditions. Yeah, so that gives me all the saved themes. So that's an array. Custom background. Okay. So here's what I think I want to do. So you know what I think I want to set? Yeah, I'm using Windows 10. I used to be a Mac guy, but OS 10 kind of started personally feeling no better than Windows, so I decided to try Windows for a bit. Now Windows comes with an Ubuntu shell, so that helps me get almost everything done that I used to get done on OS 10. And it's funny because I don't really run very many Windows apps either. I use Vim, so I almost don't know why I'm not running Linux, except that I need some mainstream apps occasionally, and that Windows at least has those. Oh, let's see. Losing track of the time. Actually, I might have to wrap up the stream soon. I'm running at 10 minutes shy of 2 hours. I might go for another 10 or 15 minutes and then call it a day. I at least got my first to-do done. I haven't gotten the second one done. I'm getting close. Yeah, let's keep going for like another 10 minutes at least. So what I'm trying to do here is come up with an inventory of all the images used between the current theme and saved themes. And what I think I want to do here is do a set. Another reason you wish you had a Mac is because they get the Retina display. You know, actually, if I remember right, a lot of PC laptops these days have as good or better resolution screens now. I want to say like the new Dell 13-inch has a better DPI than the latest MacBook Pro. But I could be wrong about that. I will say like Apple has had really good hardware, but I kind of parted ways when the touch bar came out and that new keyboard. I just can't stand that new keyboard. It's maybe personal preference, but it felt like typing on a piece of plywood. Okay, so what I'm looking up right now, I'm trying to remember how to use a set. I always forget. Very simple, because what I want to do is I want to come up with a list that's got unique elements, because lots of themes might share the same images. And it's just new. Okay. Alright, so yeah, so let's just do a new set. And what's the method for adding to a set? Is it just add? Can I add a list? No, I can just add them one at a time, eh? I thought for sure you could do... Well, you could do a concat or something with a set. Alright, well, whatever. So what I want to do... for each of these saved themes also, for each custom background. Oh, you know what I'm not doing here? Actually, this is what I need to do. Are these... It's in a custom background. I'm forgetting what my objects have in them. One way I can do this is to jump over to my Redux debugger. What's the state look like? What's the current theme look like? Let's add a custom background image, because I forget what's in there. I know it's not just the name. Or is it just the name? Custom backgrounds. Yeah, it's not just the name. Okay, so this is what I want to do. I want to filter that. Or map that. So initialize the set of current images with the theme custom backgrounds from the current theme. But I want the name. Right? Okay. Same for this. Yeah. Let's do that. So similar, because I guess there's no concat. This code's getting ugly. That's okay. So I'm just trying to come up with an inventory of all the current used images. And for the hell of it, I'm going to start spewing out some log messages. Do I have a log here? I don't. I've been using console log. I shouldn't do that. Because I made myself a logging utility that I forget how to use. And I've got a little utility module for it and everything. Where'd I put it? Make log. There we go. And this is in part to stop ESLint from yelling at me when I have logging statements, and also in part because I add some contextual information to my log statements so I can tell what file it's coming from, things like that. And it's handy for debugging, of course. So I'm not deleting anything yet. I'm just curious what my set of current images is going to look like. And I want to call, right now I'm going to call purge images from a few spots where images are changed. And my editor is frozen because it's trying to save a file across the internet. There it goes. Again, the fun thing that I'm doing here is most of my development is actually happening in the cloud on an Amazon EC2 box. And I've got the file system mounted locally, so it takes a little while to save files, but the builds happen much faster than they would on my laptop. Okay, so I'm going to purge images here with a get state and a dispatch. And I had a typo. Copy that there. Copy that here. I guess I don't need to do it there because that's going to delete eventually. The other place it occurred to me might be good to add it is in a couple theme events. So how about so if I set a custom background or clear a custom background, I'm going to look for it. Just to have a couple more places where the purge might happen. And it's not going to do anything to the action here. I'm just going to run a purge. This could be a mistake. I think it's a good idea. We'll find out. And hopefully this isn't going to be that heavyweight a thing to run. But before I make it actually delete anything, I'm going to see what the code does. And hopefully I haven't broken anything. And I broke something. Why did I break something? Huh. I'm kind of running out of time for the stream today. I may end up shelving this for the next stream. I'm trying to do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. It's a little bit after 5 p.m. Eastern now. It's good to leave myself stuff to do for the next stream. I do hate leaving things broken, though. Is it just this where I broke it? Let's see how I broke it. I think it is just that one method where I broke things, right? No? Where else did I break things? Well, for sure before I leave, I should actually get all this stuff rolled into commit to push to GitHub. So the day's work is off my machine. Oh, I know what I just did. It's not themes, it's theme. I would at least like to get it to the point where it's not a fully broken page. I do a lot of in-progress Git commits, but I do hate to commit things to Git even in a branch that are known to be broken. But I am trying to time box this to about 2 hours. I started a little bit late, so we got a few more minutes. Let's see what happens. I just want to at least see if the inventory part of my purge is working. Okay. Page loads. Let's pick a different color. I dislike this bright theme. Fiddling with the music. Come on, pick my theme. There you go. Let's add some images. Oh, save themes for each is not a function. Okay, well, there's definitely a bug. Let's do this. So I'm going to poke at this for a few more minutes. Again, I just want to get to the point where I see a log message telling me what images are currently in use when the purge gets called. And then maybe next time I'll actually start purging images. And maybe between now and then I'll see if I can't squeeze a little more performance out of my machine. Because this stuff should not be going so slowly. See, things for each is not a function. That message is still there. Well, what is the saved themes ending up being? See, the time pressure I'm running into now is I will soon have the various cats of the house stalking me for food. So they're kind of a natural limit to the end of the stream. Cute, but destructive. There's one staring at me right now. So now there should be a log message soon, just before my error, telling me what that thing ends up being. You can do it, little buddy. Come on. Ah, come on. Now it's not giving me the error. There it goes. Okay. What? Oh, that's right. Save themes is not an array. See, something like this, if I had TypeScript or flow types in here, would probably save me. Hello, computer. Can we do this? We can get this thing done before... Okay, now he's napping. I thought he was gonna... So there's a cat behind my laptop right now who tends to knock my laptop off my desk when it's time to eat. He just went to sleep, so... Maybe we have a minute. It's very tense. He knows I'm talking about him. All right, what do we got? Still loading. How is it still loading? Can I at least interact with this thing? Well, at least there wasn't an error. Yes. I didn't get a purge. Did I? No, I didn't get a purge message, which is what I was looking for. Alright, let's add a background image and see what happens. Okay. There it goes. I got a message. The current set of images is empty because there are no images being used. I'm gonna add an image. Set is undefined. Ah, okay, cool. I'm using one image. Now the purge has an inventory of one image. Add another image. Should have an inventory of 2 images. Starts off as undefined because it's still importing. Right? Right. Actually, I should probably filter out the undefined ones. Add one more image. And then I'm going to save this theme. There's that inventory again. Right? Yeah, there's the inventory. Okay. Let's save this theme. And what I'm going for here is when I remove images from the current theme, they still show up as part of a saved theme. So let's get rid of the barbecue image. My purge should run. Oh, broke. Okay. Theme custom backgrounds is undefined. Why is that? Well, what's in this? Save themes. Oh, I see. It's because each of these is yeah. Weird. Wait, what is this redundant data? It looks like I've got the theme saved twice. I am doing something funky somewhere. This, I think I just uncovered another bug. I'm going to add that to my to-dos. Figure out why saved themes have both data and theme property. Because one of those is probably incorrect. I bet it's a problem I introduced with this custom background stuff. Okay. Well, so I've got the inventory partially working. I'm running into this error here. Well, this unexpected wrinkle. What happens when I save a background? I'm about 10 minutes overtime in the stream here. I may bring it to an abrupt close soon. I didn't want the CSS. I wanted the JS. Okay, so when I do a put theme, I think I know what happened. So I did some refactoring on the local storage mechanism. And I may... I think I changed the key under which the theme gets saved, which is going to be a background incompatibility. Let me leave another note to myself because I think I'm not going to fix it right now. Alright, well, you know what? I think I've got some good leads. I've got some more work to do. I'm going to wrap up my work so far in like an in-progress git commit. I'm going to get it off my machine, get it into the cloud. Let me review what I've done so far today. So yeah, so I started working on... Yeah, so I'm going to wrap up the stream now. I'll get this work off my machine, going to review it real quick, and then call things to a close. So, today I started by adding a new in-memory variable to my add-on. And that's a list of images used in the current theme. I persist that to local storage, so I can reload that in between browser restarts and add-on reloads. Another little major bit I did here, I refactored this switch statement into basically an object with a dispatch table of functions. So instead of a big switch statement, now it's just an object full of methods. And I think that'll be a little more expandable in the future as I have the add-on listen for more messages. Each of these handlers can have their own local variables, which you can't really do in a switch statement. Added a couple utility methods for storing and retrieving the image data in the add-on. What did I do here? Yeah, just a little bit of tweaks here. So this is kind of where the rubber meets the road on the images. The add-on used to have direct access in theme data to the URL encoded image. Now it just has a name, and it looks up the name from its own custom background store. I started tweaking my Redux store so that it can delete images in bulk, and that is ideally going to be useful once I have my Purge middleware working. And this is the tweaks to the Redux store to handle deleting images in bulk rather than one at a time. And then down here in the custom background picker component, I got some bug fixes. I got those updated so that they manipulate the background image by name rather than expecting to be able to use the URL. And then here in my Redux middleware, I started adding support to purge unused images from the image store. It's not working yet, it's broken. That's where my work is going to continue, I think, on Wednesday. And then I guess this is the final work that was left over from last weekend, or last week. I was just kind of fiddling with this a bit. I'm trying to add a little more UI work around indicating import progress, because selecting an image does take greater than 0 time. It's okay, and I didn't see any obvious... Well, I mean, there is this WTF message. Let me take that out real quick, because one of the things I do when I review my work before I push it off my machine is I like to make sure there's no obvious profanity in my code. Because that is a thing I do when I get pissed at my code. That's not really serious profanity, but let's just get it out of there. You know, actually, no, that's going to be useful in debugging next time. So let's bring that back, but I'm just going to clean it a little bit. Yeah, let's just do that. It's more informative anyways. Okay, one more pass through. And again, what I'm doing here is wrapping up the stream. I want to get my work off my machine before I go. Take one more peek through my changes. I'm just adding support for custom backgrounds. I refactored a switch statement into a dispatch table. Actually starting to use the separate image store rather than image data directly in the theme structure. Make some changes to delete images in bulk. Bug fix. Starting the implementation of my image purge. Hooking that into the middleware. When I look at it, it doesn't seem like I got a whole lot done today, but oh well. What was the last thing I did? Yeah, okay. You know what, actually, I feel like I'm missing some things here. Because... Okay, yeah, no. This work was kind of lost in the refactoring because these were the messages I added to the add-on to start receiving images from the web front end. It's okay, yeah, it's all in there. Let's see, what did I do today? And again, this is a commit that's kind of messy, but will be squashed eventually when I form this into a pull request. Start accepting imported images in the add-on. Start work towards purging unused images. MISC tweaks. That's kind of vague. And there goes my work. Over the internet to GitHub. now I can throw my machine out a window, and I haven't lost any work. Cool. So, I didn't get through all my to-dos. That's what usually happens. But I got a good starting point for the next stream. So again, I'm trying to do this for at least 2 hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully I'll be back on Wednesday, and hopefully I'll see some folks back then too. Thanks for the follows, and hope it was at least a little bit interesting for y'all. Cheers. See you on Wednesday.